Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Rogue ST Woods and Irons from Callaway.
Hello, I'm Shane Bacon, and this is your Golf Central update. The Genesis Scottish Open begins tomorrow at the Renaissance Club in North Berwick, Scotland. For the first time, this event becomes official on the PGA Tour, as it is being co-sponsored with the DP World Tour. And with that, we send things over to Rex Hoggard with Andrew Coltart.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I don't think you and I have to even say anything when we talk about conditions. You can just listen to the wind whipping around. It's been brutal all day long. It's going to get a little bit easier as the week goes by, but how do you think the course is going to play?
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Even I, Scotsman, a little bit surprised at how blustery it is out there. It's been pretty tough for players out there today, just trying to get used to it. But look, the great thing about the Renaissance Club is that it's a very fair and to a certain extent forgiving golf course. So as long as conditions are going to improve slightly, the players are thoroughly going to enjoy their experience here. There's no doubt about it. They don't want to get bashed up before they obviously go and play a major championship next week, and this is why this is an exceptional test to host the Scottish Open on.
When you look at this field, it's the first time it's been co-sanctioned between the PGA Tour and the PGA and the DP World Tour. Give me an idea of what player is going to stand out here, because you have the mix between the two and so many great players.
Oh, what a field we have here. It's going to be a sensational tournament. You have to change your ball flight. You have to control the spin. If you send it up there in the air, you're going to get pulverized out there by these conditions. You've got to land the ball short of greens and expect, particularly downwind holes, 30, 40 yards of release. That's something that, particularly over there on the PGA Tour, the players aren't accustomed to. They just play the yardage. So you really have to adapt. And I know some of the players have come across beforehand, experienced some of the Irish courses, maybe a couple of courses in Scotland to try and develop the game for this week and for next week. But you're going to have to fight that wind, and you've got to keep it low.
Now, more headlines off the course this week with Live Golf. Now, there's 4 players who had been banned from playing this event by the DP World Tour who are now allowed to because of a court ruling. As a European Tour member, when you look at what the situation is going on, what are your feelings towards that?
Yeah, it's disappointing. It's incredibly distracting. I feel for the players that actually have to play, playing their own tour, because they don't want to be talking about this, and they're being forced to talk about this. Ever since I was a little child, I dreamt of playing on the DP World Tour, and I got that opportunity. And not everybody gets a dream come true. These players have had that opportunity, and I just feel like they've almost kind of tossed it aside for something that they believe is better. And for a passionate DP World Tour supporter, that sticks in your throat a bit.
Well, luckily, tomorrow we'll be able to start talking about the golf. Appreciate your time, Andrew.
No problem.
Thanks, fellas. And from the Scottish Open to the Open Championship we go. Scottie Scheffler trying to join this list of golfers to win at both Augusta National and the Old Course. You see Jack, Tiger, Seve, Sam Snead, Nick Faldo, and Zach Johnson recently added to that list. Scheffler getting ready for the Scottish Open and the Open Championship, addressing the media earlier today.
I had a lot of fun at this tournament last year. The golf course is really good. It's in good shape again this year. I really like this style of golf, and it was a really good prep week for me last year going into St. George's, and I'm sure it will be fairly similar grass to St. Andrews. I haven't been to St. Andrews before, but it was definitely nice coming over, getting adjusted to the time and everything, and a little different style of golf.
Sort of going forward, what is going to make you a better player, do you think, winning the Masters or losing the US Open?
That's a really good question. I think in both scenarios I really learned a lot. The U.S. Open going into that week, I didn't play great in Canada. I kind of just got it around. I knew how I was playing in Canada was I wasn't going to be able to compete at the U.S. Open, so I made, found something in my swing kind of basically Thursday morning, and I ended up hitting it great. I just didn't have it on the greens, but, I've played good enough this year to win 2 majors, which is really cool. And just learning stuff at both those events, I'm just gradually trying to get better. I'm not going to make any drastic changes to what I do. It's just kind of learning from those experiences. And, I learned it a lot at the Masters, and I learned a lot at the U.S. Open as well.
And looking ahead to St. Andrews, you've not played a great deal there, have you?
No, I never played there. No, so this is my second time to the UK, and I played Ballybunion and Lahinch last week, and then Adair Manor. And last year I only played here in St. George's, so only those courses.
What are you most looking forward to at St. Andrews next week?
Well, first of all, just really seeing the golf course. Then after that, competing in the Open. Just to play in the Open is really special, and to have an Open at St. Andrews, the home of golf, will be really special. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. Today we had these crazy winds, and I only played 9 holes, but it was actually really fun to play, and you're just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And it'll take a little bit of time to get used to winds like that. It may have been the only wind I've played in that was harder than the Players this year. But outside of that, when you're playing this style of golf and that much wind, it's actually really fun. So, looking forward to the challenge.
Scottie Scheffler is going to go out with a couple of fellas you've heard of, Viktor Hovland and Jon Rahm. They'll tee off at 3:05 a.m. Eastern. So if you're up early, if you're feeding the baby, that's what you should be doing. You should be watching those three play around the golf. It'd be exciting to see those three in a great, great field. And 2022 has been a mixed bag for our defending champion of the Open, Collin Morikawa, tied for second at the Genesis, had the co-lead after 36 holes at the U.S. Open before posting a Saturday 77. He's not really contended anywhere else for Collin Morikawa. You see there 13 starts, not a win to be had, 1 runner-up finish, and 5 top 10s. A couple of missed cuts from Collin Morikawa, who is trying to get his game back on track.
I seriously owe everything to this week. I think the event before this for me last year was, I think, the U.S. Open, right, at Torrey, and my game felt as good as it had been throughout the entire year. And then I came over here, and, it was a little windy, but nothing crazy. And I was hitting 9 irons to edges of the greens, and it just wasn't acceptable. And, sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. I always like to think I'm right, but that's never the case. And I just kept complaining to JJ that, my irons felt terrible. And I couldn't explain why. I just couldn't hit the ball in the center of the face. So, without this extra week of just prep here at Renaissance and playing here at the Scottish Open, I wouldn't have never thought about changing irons. So if I had just shown up to the Open Championship last year, it probably would have been a repeat of what I saw last year during this event, was hitting maybe fairways and then missing every green, which, is not the case for trying to win major championships.
And then at Brookline, there was the talk about just playing the draw and relying on that. Where are you at now? Are you still playing it? Or are we back to the fade?
The fades are back. No, I think I like to say the fades are back because I am able to hit the cut shot again. But over the past couple of days, playing in Ireland, playing at Adair Manor, I actually worked the ball a lot more than I have probably ever. And I'm not saying I'm hooking the ball and slicing the ball, but I'm just playing the right shots. And the only time I've really watched a couple of guys do that is JT and Tiger. The few times I've played with him, I played with JT this year at the Players when it was super windy, right? And to watch him play that, I think he was bogey-free. He had full control of his golf ball. He worked it both ways. And then the few times I've played with Tiger, even though, this is kind of the older side and the end side of Tiger's career, he worked the ball when he needed to, right? He played the right shots. And I think the past 2 days, I kind of got in that mindset of, I'm just going to play the right shot and play the percentage shot. So it's been cool to be able to have control of that ball, kind of work both ways, because out here, I think you're going to need it.
So Collin Morikawa going to go out with Matt Fitzpatrick. Just won that U.S. Open Championship at Brookline. And Will Zalatoris, who played so well at the Country Club, coming up a shot short of Fitzpatrick. They'll go out at 8:15 a.m. Eastern. A lot of big names in that Genesis Scottish Open. Excited to watch. We appreciate you watching this.